All right. So transitioning from hiking and nature, what then sparked your interest in painting?
Yeah, so growing up, um, perhaps my parents believed I shouldn't watch the TV. You gotta do something else that was gonna be bad for me. And
Uh-huh.
so it was always this like very like hands-on, here's arts and crafts, you do this. And so I did. And for like a long time, I just would do these little projects kind of throughout, school. It was always in art classes and dealing with like stress in college, I would just like paint and paint and paint and paint. And then I don't know, now that I have a house and a space and time, I can just really just sit there and I can paint and it's lovely. I really like, like I said, all this hiking stuff, and that of course contributes to my landscape paintings. It's good inspiration for sure.
Yeah. Who or like what influenced your painting?
Uh, a lot of things, probably more than I can think about. But I always liked like the artists like Frida Kahlo is lovely, Georgia O'Keeffe, and Van Gogh. Van Gogh is nice because he's like these very lovely like scenes where he like uses the color in like different ways than other artists. So there's a lot of like movement in his paintings and his landscapes. So I really liked that. And I've always told myself like I should do Starry Night with all my dots and like see
Yeah.
if I can pull that off. Um, but ultimately other inspirations are just like mountains and the colors you'll see there or in landscapes at different times of days. Um, yeah, just the natural world is very inspirational.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, okay, those artists in particular, I thought you would mention like was it Surratt, George
Oh
Surratt, or
yeah, I get that
like
sometimes,
more
right?
like the are they pointillism?
Yeah, like
That's
pointillism, that too. Or I always liked making mosaics. And I
okay.
tell people I wanted to like make a painted mosaic. Like how can you translate this tile thing to something like flat with paint? And so I've tried to achieve that kind of thing.
It's cool because you don't really see that, or I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm limited, I don't know, but like nature and like mosaics, that's really cool. Some of my favorite paintings are like I love looking at landscape art. It's just is
Mhm.
so relaxing to me and like inspiring. But I also like vibrancy and you seem
Right.
to use some of those brighter colors. Um,
So that was a little bit of my thinking is that Western art is really cool, right? It's a bunch
yeah,
of landscapes, but it all often has this like kind of muted tone to it. Not that it all looks similar, but it all kind of looks older or antiquated. And so
yeah.
I was wondering, like, can we bring more vibrancy to Western art, make it more exciting, make our
Yeah.
landscapes, more interesting?
Have you seen much Native American art?
Yeah, growing up in Wyoming, there was plenty, and in what's it called? New Mexico. I really like Santa Fe. Like Santa Fe is like just very artistically captivating. There's just so much going on, just so many fantastic artists.
So you've been to Santa Fe, you said?
Yeah, yeah.
What's that like there?
It's cute. It's like all their buildings are adobe. It all kind of matches. I don't know, the streets are cute. It's quaint, it's colorful. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
art is colorful. There's a lot of that Native American influence around, and there's just so many different studios. And I was actually gonna go to Santa Fe this coming weekend,
Oh,
but
really?
after traveling to Ghana, I'm like, I don't think I want to fly again for a while. I'm just gonna not.
uh, um, going back to some of those artists you mentioned, what do you like most about Georgia O'Keeffe?
I don't know, she was just like this pioneer of a painter and a woman in the field who really just saw things a different way. Just the way she abstracted the landscapes is really cool, and her colors are also, they can be pretty vibrant at times, and just the scale of how she would blow up her florals is really, it's really cool. And just to think about these very like natural things in different ways. So like I see a mountain every single day, but how can I imagine it in a different way?
Okay.
And so it's interesting.
And then Van Gogh, what do you pull from Van Gogh that you use?
A lot of his color and movement. I think he gives his scenes are often very like flowy, and his colors, they coordinate in like different ways. I don't know if that makes sense. They like work off each other, and it's beautiful. Like the way he mixes it is very nice. And so yeah, it's, I don't know. I just there in Salt Lake, I think they just opened this Van Gogh exhibit, and it's this immersive thing where you like walk in and everything is a painting. Like
Okay.
it's like lit up like you're walking through his paintings, and it like changes and it like morphs. And so that's like a thing I want to do like this weekend or next. Go
Oh,
check.
there you go. Instead of Santa Fe, you
Yes.
can check out the Van Gogh.
Yeah, yeah, I think it'll be good. Also inspirational.
So then what's your creative process like?
Yeah, so that is a good question. I try and describe it to people, but I don't know if it makes a lot of sense.
It
Sometimes,
makes a lot of sense that it wouldn't make a lot of sense to other people.
okay, that's good. Because it's not like I like sit down and I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna paint. It's
Yeah.
not really, that doesn't happen. Some days I just like sit there and hope I feel like I want to paint, but no. Sometimes I'll like be driving my car and I'll like see like a whole painting in my head, like the whole thing completed, like all the different steps and like all the different intricacies, and it's just there. And I'm like, whoa, I guess I'm gonna paint that. Or like I'll see like a portion of it, or I'll see like the mountain I want to do. Um, and then sometimes I'll paint the mountain, and if I can't like see in quotes the rest of the painting, then it'll sit for months and months and months and months, and I hope I'll get back to it. But sometimes I just see the whole thing. I'm like, okay, let's go to town and get it done. And yeah, it's really weird. Maybe I don't know if weird's the right way, but it's just funny how it happens or doesn't happen.
Like more spontaneous.
Yeah, it does. It just seems like these like spontaneous bursts of inspiration. And sometimes like when I go on hikes, it helps. Like when I was in like the redwoods and I was just like looking around at this totally different landscape, I was like imagining different ways to do different things, and so sometimes it's like that.
So then you usually paint on canvas, or do you do murals? And then you mentioned earlier you're making some ornaments for the holidays
Yeah,
coming up.
making ornaments. I've done a couple murals. They're not my favorite. They're hard. They're really like physically demanding.
Okay.
To paint like just massive walls, or just to like sit on the ground and paint and paint and paint and paint. It hurts your body. So I prefer to do like paintings. And yeah, usually it is on canvas. Sometimes I'll do it on metal or wood. Just like the flatter the surface is better, right? So that the dots don't get all like warped and weird.
Okay. So is it easier on metal then?
Yeah, metal is pretty good. I don't think I have a painting around to show you, but metal is likely the best. It just doesn't always hang well, and so canvas is just more available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is like some of your art? Do you have art in like other states or countries?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I've sent art like with my friends to different countries, but I've got art like exhibited in Salt Lake City and in Casper, Wyoming, where I'm from.
Oh,
It's
nice.
I want to push it and I want to get into more galleries, but I don't, I'm a little like hesitant because I don't know like the pace. Like once you start a new thing, like how fast will it go? How fast will it evolve and grow? And so I'm in grad school right now, so I don't know how much I can handle.
Wait, elaborate on that. So like how do you go about getting your art in a gallery?
That is, a lot of galleries have different processes, and I'm still trying to understand it myself. But sometimes they reach out to you, sometimes you reach out to them,
Okay.
sometimes they'll do like a call for art, or they'll announce like an art competition, and you can apply for those things. That's kind of how I got into the one I'm in Salt Lake right now, they just did a call for art. They usually do them in like January, and I applied and I was accepted to like a desert themed show. And so it really depends on the gallery. Sometimes it's through Instagram. I got one through
Okay.
Instagram and it was just weird, but I guess that's the way it goes. You just try and build relationships with them. It's not
Okay.
like really cool to like walk into one and be like, hey, I'm Elizabeth, will you take my art? It's kind of like, whoa, okay. A little too straightforward, maybe.
Oh, it's interesting. Where in Salt Lake is your art?
It's downtown. There's this gallery called the Urban Arts Gallery. And I would say they focus more on emerging artists. So they do like rotating shows that I've participated in, and then they also have like it's like a little boutique kind of format up front. So I sell there as well. So it's more of like my smaller things, like I would put on my Etsy, like prints and cards and stuff
Okay.
on that. But then like the fine art is displayed elsewhere in the gallery.